Cool, cool. Yay. What is up? Toasty. What's up, handsome?
Hey,
There you
man.
go. Let's get you all in here. Yay. All right, let me turn my music off. Every week I feel like the link to get into the Zoom doesn't work initially, so that's why I was like slightly late. Um, heck yeah. Woohoo! How we doing, guys?
Doing good. Where'd you get that sweatshirt, Frank?
Where did I get this? I think I copped it at like a thrift store, to be honest.
It's
Um,
fresh, man. Looking good.
Thank you, dude. Usually I'm like in my tank top, but it's kind of it's
Good.
raining, chilly here in Reno. Um, it's probably so warm and remind me, you're in Virginia, right, Diego?
Yep. Yep.
Yeah,
Right next to Washington, D.C.
you're like right next to DC.
Yep.
Dude, wait. Me here. Is that how I say your name, Sony?
Yep, that's how you say my name.
Bro, your setup, you look so fresh. Oh my gosh. What camera are you recording
Uh,
on?
it's a Sony camera. By the way, it's 4:30 in the morning here.
Really? Oh, heck yeah.
Yep.
That's awesome. Let's go. Well, I'm glad you're here. Glad all you guys are here. Hi, Kathy. Nice to meet you. Nice.
Nice to meet you. Me here, Sony. You look like AI.
Yeah.
You're so beautiful.
No, guys, I'm not an AI. I'm a real person.
In a couple of years, that could be, I mean, like,
Yeah,
yeah,
that will be a
that would be
thing, I guess, in a couple years.
um Abel, nice to see you. Cool guys. All right, we'll jump into it. Marin, who's got some wins for the week? Who's calling and booking appointments? Who's winning? Who's not winning? It's a mix of both always, but anyone got some client
Sign,
wins?
signed on
Shout
a
out.
car detailer, getting some good reviews.
Let's go.
Yeah.
How'd you get them?
Knocked on his door and called him.
You went in person first?
No, I cold called him, then I went to go knock on his door. Uh,
Heck yeah. Did he have actually a location or did you go to his physical address, like his house?
no, he has a location.
Okay. When Sam and I first started, we only did this for like a day. But our background's door-to-door sales, so we actually went to people's houses. And we didn't actually I don't think we met anyone in person like that, but it's
Bro, no one was home. I legitimately still think that would work.
I think so, yeah,
He's
because
getting solicited at their house for their business.
yeah, I mean, we did that for years. So like, I mean, it'd be a little bit more strange. Like, hey, I found your house on Google and wanted to come say hi, but uh, it would work. So cool. I want to a quick talk, and before we just hop into whatever we hop into, I wanted to focus a little bit on what I'm focusing on this week in terms of I have my whiteboard here. I guess I could pop that over. So one, writing down obviously what you're trying to do. Can you guys look at that? You can't see shit. But basically I have like a spreadsheet that tracks like what I'm trying to do throughout the week in terms of like calls made, appointments. Fuck this. Okay. Um, but essentially I wanted to talk to you guys about not so much the tactics, but like the overarching frameworks of what I'm focusing on this week for the emotions that I'm trying to convey over my cold calls. I think in the beginning, if you're brand new, focusing on a script and the words, like having that memorized is essential. But we want to also focus on what is the energy that we want to convey through our tonality, through our voice. And I think that will help a ton in training and like reaching out to prospects. So I wrote down a couple things. One, simple, confident, detached, playful, and then I put sexy there for fun. That was a joke. Sam told me that. And then the last one is service. So when we're going into an interaction with a stranger, having a framework of how we want to convey ourselves is going to help a ton. So The last script I put out that's inside of the community is a little wordy. We've shortened it down a lot, but simple. We want to get to the point as fast as possible. Also, confidence. I don't know if you guys saw the last video I posted about with the Hormozy script, but all the comments were roasting me, being like, you sound like you're guilty for calling them. You have too many ums and ahs," which is actually great advice because oftentimes I and ah a lot. And I think to combat that, just going into the interaction, knowing that you have something of value, knowing that you have something that's going to benefit them a ton. And if you're not there yet and you haven't got the results and done the thing, then that's why, Chung and I, we spoke about this last time, is like get a result for free, do that. And that way you can go into the interaction with this conviction of knowing like, hey, this is going to help you a lot. Detachment, not this. I mean, this is so big. Like, if you guys are booking appointments and like Sam, how many did you have on the roster yesterday? How many appointments?
Five, one showed up, two ghosted me, two rescheduled. So I got one meeting out of five, and then some reschedules.
Yep. I had what was supposed to be an onboarding this morning. I had one, two, three appointments. Aside from that, one ghost, two ghost, one reschedule. So the detachment aspect, not just in the presentation, but you guys have to realize they're it's just part of the game of them ghosting you, and you have to not care. You have to not care about them showing up, of them booking the appointment, because you've made a decision in your mind that you're going to do this and that you're not going to quit, and that yes, Blake, it's just numbers and you're just putting in those reps. um, I know a couple of you are like brand new, but it's like, guys, the reps and putting the work in and detaching from the results and conveying that in your energy and your emotion is going to actually help you more. Because if you're so like, oh, I need this right now, like it's going to reflect in your energy. And that takes time to develop, of just getting rejected over and over and over again. But eventually, you get to a place of detachment. Playful is like this. You just want to be able to connect with people, make a joke. So like, I now in the beginning, this is more tactical advice of my cold call. And I got this from Sam, of just asking like, "Hey, how are you?" Right? And then following that up with, "Oh, I'm living the dream, man," or "I'm just trying to stay out of trouble." I got that from Jeremy Miner. He posted on his Instagram, like, saying, "You want to start the interaction with the 'How are you?' and then something that's going to maybe get a chuckle out of them." And Sam's super good at that, and getting laughs out of people, and that's everything. Because how many people are calling them? A ton. If you guys are talking to small business owners, like every day they're getting spam, but most people are really poor at the skill of cold calling. And if you're just okay and act as a human, be playful. What's another thing that I've been doing? Oh, how do you like being a business owner? This is like falls into the playful category. I'm like, oh, it's okay. It has its days. I'm like, there's always a fire to put out. Am I right? And ha ha ha. Yep, yep. And it's just a means of connecting that enables them to trust you more, remember you. Oh, that's a big thing. How many of you guys, like, Marin, Blake, the people that are calling, what's your follow-up game been like, and how like how do you guys go about your follow-up right now? I'd be curious to hear from you.
Are you saying like if somebody like ghosts you, like to follow up with that, or like to follow up just like if they never answered your call? Like, what do you mean by that?
Yeah, so let's say you call somebody, you have a good interaction, maybe they ghost you, or you didn't book the appointment there. What have you been doing in terms of, have you been following up? Or yeah.
Yeah, I really need to get better at it, honestly. Like sometimes it works well. A lot of times when people will be like, "Oh yeah, I remember you," and like I kind of just like be like, we'll tell them like, "Oh yeah, I don't know if you remember, like I graduated from Georgia, like started this business." So they're like, "Oh yeah," like immediately, because I think that's the one thing that's like a little bit different when I cold call versus like the six other calls they get a day is if I can connect with somebody like on a school level, like if they're also like a Georgia fan, like I always knock it out of the park with that. Cause like football, like if we can talk football together, like they immediately like have that connection.
It's so important. And I had this realization with Sam on that note of like, wait, these people are remembering me. Because I wasn't coming from a door-to-door background, we never had the chance to follow up. It was like they either bought there or they just didn't. So I kind of took that same mentality into this business and calling and realized, wait a second, if I just reach back out to the people that, they didn't might have booked an appointment then, they always are like, oh yeah, what's up, Frank? And I'm like, because I don't remember. I call so many people. Um, and that's also why it's important to use like Close or another CRM to like make notes. And that's one thing in the last like 2 weeks that I've been doing a lot better of. If they ask me to send them an email, I call them back in a few days. Yeah, yeah, like just having those systems and processes because yeah, people will remember you if you build a connection, you're playful, have a good conversation, and you don't book right there, then those people they're still leads. They're people that potentially will come in the future and do business with you. So but it's just crazy because I just never had that mentality because I never had to. I didn't have the opportunity in door to door. But if you're decent, and that comes back to being detached. Like if I were to then on these calls with people that I've built a connection with, like push them into a meeting, like no, do it now, and then the energy exchange comes from this place of taking rather than detachment of like I need this right now, then you burn that connection and that sale and then you lose the opportunity down the road. Other industries, I feel it. You're yo, what up, Tony? um Other industries maybe you don't have that opportunity, and if you're like setting the appointment and you don't have the opportunity to follow up, then maybe be a bit more aggressive. But at least in the space that Sam and I are in, and most of you guys, you have that opportunity. So as long as you take good notes, also Close like records the conversation for 30 days, which helps me a ton. So I can listen back and be like, oh yeah, now I remember. Better prepare. Um, and it's a completely different type of sales game now because it's more of this not just like focused on this single call, but this game of chess of being like, okay, he said he had this business partner, he was kind of interested, but not. They also have their contract with this marketer is about to end, and you can kind of play the game, which I know that is the sales game, but it's new to me because, like I said, I hadn't had that experience. But so Blake, you're sending even if they say like send an email, you're a couple days later, that's what you're doing.
Yeah, I guess so. Or I don't use Close. I just use Google Sheets and I just make like a note. I think you or somebody else recommended to like if you don't want to pay for Close, just use Sheets and then make like a column that's status and notes.
Mhm.
And yeah, I'll just make a note. And if I do send them an email, I'll just follow up a couple days later to see.
Heck yeah, let's go. Tony, you down to talk? If you're available.
Yes, brother. Can you hear me?
Yeah, how you doing, man?
I'm doing fantastic. I just got back from the gym, so I apologize I'm a little late. And I'm on my PC, so I don't have a camera up here, which is why my camera's off. But yeah, I'm down to chat.
Yeah, man. So tell us about your cold calling. What do you cold call for?
Dude, I cold call because that's what I do best. I will cold call for any client that I have. In the past, I've done social media marketing. I've done SaaS. I'm in the middle of talking to somebody for doing deal sourcing with private equity. And then today I just signed a client to do restaurant management level recruiting, which is going to be really easy, I hope, because it's more like wholesaling or like those guys who are like, oh, we're cold call masters, but they're calling people who already like are interested in selling something. So I'm like, are you really cold calling? It's not really a cold call. So it's more like that because I'll be calling people who are actively hiring. So they have an active trigger, right? And then essentially the client that I have, their guarantee, their quote unquote like value offers that they place somebody of high value within 2 weeks. So I'm like, dude, if you can handle the closing, I set the leads, no problems there. And I'm really excited about that one because it's starting off really small, $1,000 a month, which is nothing because like I can set a lead in 1 month, and then effectively pays for itself, because the LTV for their customers are anywhere from 10 to 15. So it makes wildly good sense for him. And then I'm hoping to scale that and potentially put a team in there and structure the deal differently. I don't know. That's like the long term, but yeah, that's who I call for it so far.
See, I didn't realize. I mean, we haven't chatted like this before. So you basically, do you reach out to these people to have them hire you to cold call for their service? And if so, like, how do you? I imagine you just cold call them, but I didn't realize you did it for several different industries, which is sick.
Yeah, tough. It's really difficult because managing, so I'm sure you guys know that like every industry is like speaking a new language, and so every language has its own terminology and its own inflection points and pain points and stuff like that. So you do have to learn. But what I've learned from door to door, we have the same background, is that like there's a framework. You follow the framework. Anything can go inside that bucket as long as you use it right. You speak with the right tonality, come in with the right energy. People will be open to listen to if you just pose it right. It's all about what I have learned recently on the phone. It's about asking the right question. Door to door, it was more like building a relationship on the door. It's, you can be a bit more, you've got the body language. On the phone, you really do only got, a couple of seconds to kind of make an impact. So what I've been trying to focus on is finding really good questions that catch people. And so the one that I came up with, private equity, that has worked really well so far for getting private equity discovery calls to potentially acquire a client was, hey, I understand that in private equity, you guys typically rely on networking and things like this, but I just have one question for you. Would you turn away a perfectly qualified prospect if I brought that to your table, they were interested in potentially doing a deal just because it didn't come from your network? The answer is obviously no. I would not turn that deal away, right? And so then from that point, I just go, cool. And then, well, what I do is blah 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 blah. I tell them my rate, and then I'm like, is that something you'd be opposed to chatting about more? And then I just transition from there. That's worked really well. Recently, I've just been doing quote unquote pseudo interviews. So I'm like, hey, do you mind if I like pseudo interview you, because I have an offer I haven't brought to market yet? I'd like to test. I'd like to validate it with you. So no pitch here. No pitch here. I raise my hands up in the air. No pitch. Just want to validate an offer with you really quick, see if this makes sense. And then I basically just walk them into a discovery call. Because if I ask the right questions, nobody at the end of that is going to be like, well, tell me more about, could we possibly, like, I'm like, yeah, dude. So that's been pretty cool.
I love that. A pseudo interview. That's a great idea.
Yeah. Always ask for advice on that. People love getting they want to give advice. So if you're like, I need to conduct a pseudo interview, I'd love to ask you for your advice. People are like, oh yes, especially in private equity. They're like, yes, I'm super important in my advice. You know what I mean? I'm going to give you advice, young lady. Totally, bro. And I'm just writing everything they say down. Yeah.
That's huge. I heard, I forget who else I saw recently that said that the way they would get clients is they would actually ask them to come in for a podcast and ask them questions about their business, and like during the podcast kind of like bring up what they did, and by the end of it, they built this connection and also like publicly chatted about their pain points in their business, and then which I thought was really creative. I think for people here, to help them the most, especially if they're brand new, like, what's your framework that you go about in terms of cold calling that, people could apply to their situation and where they're at?
Are you speaking on like the pitch itself or like the logistics of it?
I guess just like if you were to go into a new offer, like the logistics of the steps that you take in all industries, or maybe just like some tips.
Sure, yeah. So starting with logistics, I made that post in your group the other day because I saw that you were posting about how often you were calling, and somebody was like, how do you guys call at this rate? I'm like, okay, let's break it down. So I like breaking things down. That's just how my brain works. I think about fractionalizing everything and then try to put it all back together in different ways and figure out just how things work efficiently. And one thing that I actually saw on LinkedIn, this guy in Sweden, he's a really popular LinkedIn cold caller. And I saw a post where he was like, you should call at 10 a.m. Or 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. in the morning, and then 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. at night. And those are the 2 hours which people religiously pick up their phone. More often they're available to answer. And I've tested this. So I have over 2,000 phone calls made this year so far. And Predominantly, most of my calls, my connection rates have skyrocketed since I started doing that. Previously to that, I was just calling to get into the groove. I was calling to test my offer, and so I wasn't really thinking about timing. If you call fucking 11 to 2, you're not going to get anybody to pick up the phone because they're all eating lunch. Their brain is working real slow. Nobody wants to pick up the phone. They're in the middle of their workday. It's not going to happen. But you'll catch A players in the morning, and you'll catch people off guard at night. Is what I'm kind of picking up. There's going to be guys that are doing work super early in the morning, guys and gals. They're going to be doing early work in the morning. Catch them. If you show up with your A game and you're like, hey, like I'm a guy doing work. I own a business. I actually like your pitch, by the way. I've tried it a few times. Hey, I'm just a guy. I've started a business recently. That's a really good opener. It helps. I'm a small business owner. There's a big, what you call it, disarm in that people really like. They don't like. I've noticed they don't like talking to like corporate salespeople, but they love talking to just small business owners. And I don't even tell them my name. I just tell them I'm a small business owner. Hey man, I'm a small business owner. The reason why I'm reaching out is blah blah blah. And I've set since I started doing that and switched up when I was calling. I'm setting at 30% book rate now.
Oh.
So if I call 10 people, I book 3 meetings. That's pretty fat. When I was doing not that, it was like about 10%. It was about 10% connects and then 50% book. So my pitch, I usually book 50. If I pitch twice, I book one of them. But now I'm doing a little bit more than that, which is actually really cool. The connects have gone up, so I've had more opportunities to book, which is fantastic. But that's it. I just split those two up into the day. That's the logistics of it. Now, when it comes to the pitch itself, man, there's a lot of different ways to pitch. I have found that the door-to-door stuff does not work on the phone. It takes too long. It requires the gimmicks of like the phone. It requires your call sheet you can hand, or your knock sheet where you can hand stuff off to people, and like you're given things, and you're like if you talk to like a grandma or something, you lean over and you're like, hey, it's me. I'm just a guy walking around. You probably see me and stuff. You can't do that on the phone. So what I have found is like I speak really slow, probably painfully slow. A lot of people don't realize how slow you should actually be talking. So my pitch is usually like I like to breathe a lot. I get to the point, but I like to breathe. So my pitch would be something like, "Hey man," or I'll be like, "Greg, yeah, this is Tony. Yeah, man, this is Tony. I'm just a small business owner. I'm out here just calling people. I work with a lot of people in your vertical. The reason why I'm reaching out is I've actually been doing this thing that's been working really well. Blah 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 blah. Go into whatever your value prop is. That works. It's fine. It does what it does. Now, maybe that's just my energy, and maybe you have a different type of energy that you might need to deliver different. One thing I've known about pitching is that there's a million different ways to pitch depending on who you are. So finding your groove is really good. That just happens to be my groove. I hate fighting with people. I will say, when I started, I used to fight with people all the time.
Same.
And dude, it was brutal. It was just like, you're wrong. Your stuff sucks, and you need to buy mine, and it never worked. So.
No, right when it gets combative, it's over. It's done.
It's over, yeah. Especially at the pitch, you screwed yourself.
Yeah. And what you said there of like, I saw a video recently. I always forget his name, but I pay for his sales training. Haha. But he used to teach like he does like he's a big sales guy. And he made a video recently on pairing your personality type with different types of selling styles. And it really made a lot of sense for me. Where like Grant Cardone, if you guys follow any of his stuff, he's very like bulldozer, like push through mentality. And then there's more like NEPQ stuff, which is asking questions and whatnot.
Yeah.
But I think the overall point that I think would help you guys is if you're someone that's naturally really timid, what he would have his guys do is he would come in and be like, hey, I want you to sound aggressive on this call. And if you're timid, when they tried to sound aggressive, they actually came off like normal.
Yeah.
So like balancing. And then if you're somebody that is more, aggressive, like, hey, I want you to sound like act really passive and like kind of nonchalant in this. So I think just that tip of like, okay, if I'm naturally, and I noticed that in my last video I post, I'm more, and maybe I don't come off this, but I'm more nonchalant, or like I can come off too more timid. So when I focus on being more confident and direct, it usually balances me out better. And finding that to your personality type is going to help you a ton in who you are and adjusting to these different sales styles. There's like being the NEPQ stuff, like being really pushy bulldozery, which I just don't. I've met sales guys like Sam, Jordan, who was one of my managers in door to door. Like he is incredible at getting people to do things and like getting them to sign up, but that results in a lot of cancels, right? Which in pest control kind of work better. But anyway, that's not my sales style. I don't recommend it at the end of the day. Being someone of service and just like, hey, I want to help you in your situation, I think works best. Um, but yeah, I wanted to open it up if you guys had any like for your situation, particular things that you're running into or questions that you have in regards to maybe if you have a different offer. So, Sony, I'd be curious to know what if you have something in particular that you're see this because you look so good on camera, dude. I gotta I gotta ask.
Well, my biggest problem is that whenever people hear an Indian accent, they're like, okay, some Indian Pakistani scammer, just cut them off. So that is being a pain in the ass for me. So I'm trying to learn the English accent. Actually got a course for it, but that's gonna take some time. So I'm trying my luck, but yeah, people generally cut me off thinking that I'm someone sitting in a Indian or Pakistani call center and I'm trying to scam them. So that's an issue that I guess is unique to me.
I
So
actually I have something for that. I before today I was talking. I don't know if you guys seen Yasir post in my community, but he's from Somalia, and we were working on his intro because he has a similar issue. He calls in the UK, but I think this is good advice for any concern is pre-overcome it in the beginning and maybe make a joke out of it. That would be what I would do. I would directly right off the bat call it out and in some way that's funny and gets people to laugh because you're right. That you're
yeah,
right.
that
You're like
yeah,
that is what it is, but like rather than like be afraid of like and have that in your head, like I'd like probably let you like figure out something that feels good in terms of like, hey, I know I sound this way, but I promise, and like I don't know. But go that
but
route of like making a joke out of it in the beginning. And I think that would actually help you a ton. Because I
I'll
think we're
try
all,
doing this week.
yeah, yeah. Tell me how that goes and what the wording
Sure,
is.
sure thing. I will try doing.
Yeah, dude.
What is she saying?
What do you yeah, your camera. You thought it was AI, Sam.
Guys, why do you think that I am AI? I'm a real human being. Be
Dude,
serious.
it's just the lighting. You look too good.
I do have a professional setup. That is another thing, but it's real me. Okay.
That's awesome, dude. What are you selling if you don't mind me asking?
It's just the review reputation service at the
Okay.
moment, but like I told you, I had a conversation with you personally. Like, we are a complete digital marketing agency, so we do SEO, we do social media, we do ads, we do everything, but that is another part of the story. But for trust, I mean, for this part, like, we are just focusing on the review thing. Like, this is basically the top of the funnel for us. Once we get the client, we'll be pushing them to get SEO or maybe PPC or whatever. So that is how we are planning it.
Yeah, if you we're also doing that's the same model, get a bunch of review clients and then I'd probably do Facebook ads. Nick Eaton, he just stepped up for a second, but he's the GOAT. We're actually learning from him a ton and he's helped us a lot. But he does big numbers, he does Facebook ads, and he starts off with yeah, that's Nick. Doing like a low ticket. I think his stuff's like yeah, and does SEO and stuff. You and then
Yep.
that's your model, right, Nick?
Yep.
Yeah.
To get them, because first thing is people in the US or Canada or Australia or UK, wherever I try to reach out, they don't trust us just because, the Indian accent and the think that Indians and Pakistanis are scammers. So this is basically for us, this is our strategy to win the trust so that when they see the results, they see that, okay, these guys are doing good. They trust us and then they are, okay, let's go to the higher ticket stuff. So this is the lower ticket stuff is basically the entry gate for them and to create a relationship and get things going before we even pitch them the main marketing service.
It's so smart. I mean, this that's why this service is just so great in terms of an entry offer for all of you guys doing this because it's so easy to get results immediately.
Right.
And
We do, yeah. We do have like a client I told you about that if I'm not wrong. If you remember, like we got them like 50 reviews in 20 days and they were like, you guys are doing great. Yeah, let's go ahead with PPC. And we are also managing their PPC now. And as a matter of fact, we are gonna take care of their SEO services as well from the next month.
let's
So
go.
that is something a good win.
Heck yeah,
I'll
it's an
say.
awesome win. Hell yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
No, and once yeah, no, the ability to build that trust is I mean it's everything. And marketing, digital marketing companies, not even just like aside from like where you're located, dude, that just the industry as a whole has so low trust, man. I talked to somebody today that was like, yeah, I'm kind of scared to get started with this because I, every time I try something out, when I want to go and cancel it, they ask for like like this guy said like 3 to 4 grand if you want to get out of this. Like, oh my gosh, if you can just like lead with good business practices and be someone that's actually looking to serve people in exchange for a service, like in marketing, you're gonna crush long term. Those guys, guess what? They'll make a bunch of money up front, short term, but then what? Their reputation's crushed, and also it's just terrible karma, in my opinion. But
yeah,
short game is play the long game. Play the long game if that's what you want to do, and you're gonna crush. So, heck yeah. But honestly, dude, I think if you make a joke out of it in the beginning, that would be great for you.
I'll try doing that. I'll try. By the way, I'm like, this is my first week of cold calling, so I'm super nervous as well because I'm just starting out. So I also fumble sometimes. Like I try having a cold call conversation with Chat GPT. Like I built an GPT model out of it so that it pretends to be a very rigid and very impatient, maybe the on the receiving end. So I practice it there, but when I go and do it for real, like when I go and call the real people, I'm like, fuck, this is way too different. Okay. I don't. There was this instance when the person on the other side said, "Hey, I'm not audible," and I was like, what do I do now? They can't hear me. Like, what do I do now? And that call just went down from there. So yeah, it's good, it's fun, but I guess I have a long way to go.
Totally normal. Repetitions will make you better. I still feel like that like every day when I start cold calling. I've done a lot of sales at this point, so it's normal.
That that's comforting. That's comforting me. Thank you, sir.
What would you say? I mean, like, maybe after, and it just depends where you're at, but if there's a point for everybody where like you get told no for the first time or the third time or the fifth time, whatever it is for you today, and then you break out of that and go, oh, this isn't that bad. And if you can just make a commitment to yourself to get to that point every day, you're gonna crush and consistently do it.
Yeah, just get comfortable being uncomfortable. Like I've done solicitation sales for years now, and I still every single day start at zero. Like, oh God. And then I get told no like once. I'm like, okay. But yeah, I always have to start off with that, like, I don't want to do this.
God.
That's the thing too, guys. I think the most important thing, whether you're just a sales rep or you're doing the business, is like you just have to make a decision that you want the success more, like the pain of not reaching your goals is greater than the pain of the short-term rejection. Like truly, if you make that decision, like it's going to happen and you just don't quit and you just do it every day. Um, Yo, I have to ask, Abel, are you in a dorm room?
Who exactly you asked me?
Oh, no, sorry, Abel. You unmuted
Uh,
yourself, but I can't hear you, brother. Give me a thumbs up if you're in a dorm room. Your mic doesn't work, brother. It's all good.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, yeah.
All right. No, it's my room. This is my
Okay.
room.
The only reason I asked is because the dresser that you have was like the exact same one that I had in my
Oh
dorm.
yeah, nah, I built this myself.
Oh, let's go. You're handy too. Okay.
Yeah, yes, sir. It's my first time here. I just wanted to see what's up, see what you guys have to offer. I see the community. It's pretty nice. I like it. It's cool. I still have yet to go through all the videos you offer and stuff like that. So yeah, I'm in sales myself though, so I'm not like brand new to all of this, but just wanted to see what you had to offer, and I'm gonna check it out today, later, one of these days.
Heck yeah, dude. Let's go. I will say there's not a ton in the core section at this point. I will put stuff
Hmm.
in there. But what kind of sales do you do?
So I sell modular homes, tiny homes. I don't know if you guys know what that
Oh,
is.
let's go. Yeah.
But it's very big here in Texas, and that's what I've just been doing for a few months now. But I want to transition to this because I've been in the space for a while. I've made like workflows and stuff like that, but I never just did my own thing. So I'm just, I looked at clay stuff, I looked at dance, flexible, I believe. Um, and it looks pretty good. I like it. So I'm gonna just, give it a shot.
Do it, bro. Are they like ADUs? Like
Excuse me?
like are they like do people use those units as like separate like for like their living quarters for like their grandma or something?
They're
So,
like you'd be surprised once you see them, but they're almost like homes. They're homes basically. And people use it for either getaways for themselves, their family, sometimes businesses like they use it as offices and stuff like that. It's very cool. I'd say that.
let's go. How do you go about getting clients for that?
Facebook, Google, uh, TikTok, Instagram. You just gotta, and a whole lot of cold calling. Whole
Okay.
lot of cold calling. So when you guys were talking about follow-up, it's like it's interesting because that's probably the most important thing in our business. Like follow-up is key. And if you don't have follow-up, if you don't have a follow-up game, you're not gonna win in our business. So that's like you gotta be on top of that. And I believe uh I don't know who mentioned something about like you like ending the call off with something. I feel like with everybody here, including myself, it's very, very important to leave off with something. Like leave off with something that will give you a reason for them to get back on the call. Like never leave off with like, okay, have a great rest of your day, and then expect to call them back and they're like, hey, what's up? You know, you want to leave off with like a great reason to call them back. And the thing that always pops up is like book an appointment from an appointment. So
Mhm.
like, once you're speaking with them there, you want to place down a good reason for you guys to get in a call back later. Um, but I just want to give that to someone because I know someone mentioned it. But yeah, it's new here, but what's up, guys? My name's Ava.
Glad to have you, bro. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
No, the Hormozy, Alex Hormozy bot, he's like there's an acronym. It's like book a meeting from a meeting, basically. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Never
yeah.
leave it open-ended. And that's something that I can do better too, is like even if it's like at least like if they're like, it's not a great time now, like we're about to finish a contract with another marketing company. Cool. When is that? Cool. Is it cool if I hit you up in like a month?
Yep.
Even if it's far out, but just put like in their brain when that next time is. Um, and then obviously put the notes in, close or
Yeah,
whatever you guys use.
yeah. Yes, sir.
Heck yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Ah, yeah, perfect.
That,
Yeah. But
heck,
yeah, that's pretty much it. This is my room though, so it's all good.
okay, heck yeah. I got flashback because of your dresser from to my dorm room.
It's cool,
Uh,
man.
I do.
I'm gonna
I
head
say,
out though, y'all. Y'all be safe.
peace out, bro. Uh,
Hey, what's up, guys?
How you doing, man?
Yeah, it's my first time too on the call.
Heck yeah, heck yeah.
Boy, this training right here, these recordings, They gave me everything I needed to start.
Heck
I
yeah, dude.
mean, yeah, and man, remember the first day I was like, oh my God, how am I gonna do this? How am I going to do this? I could not call. I could not get myself to pick up the phone and start calling. So what I did was just grabbing, scraping, and scraping. I scraped a lot of leads off, Google Maps. And then the next day I was like, okay, well, I need to do this. So I watch again one recordings and I watch another one and I was like, okay, I think it's time. So I picked up the call and I started calling. And then it wasn't that bad. People actually listened to me. And I realized that, this thing might be easier than what I was thinking. All right. So I started calling until I heard my first no. I was like, oh my gosh. And I was like, okay, well, I just need to keep going. And then one thing that I realized is with the opener that you had, so I tested the pitch that I had first, and I tested the one that you use in the calls and stuff. And I realized that when you call them and you give them um how do I say when you say that okay, you want to talk about a business partnership, that you kind of like grab their attention and they're like, okay, let me listen to this. But before when I started, I was like, hey, how are you? My name is Abdul and I am blah blah blah. They'd be like, okay, well, I don't need it, and sometimes they just hang up the phone. So I was like, okay, I need to find something like that kind of like catches their attention right away, so they feel like, okay, I'm probably going to benefit from listening to me. So that was really nice, and I also didn't realize that people are busy, man.
Yeah.
Like I did 45 calls yesterday, and probably 18 didn't pick up the phone. And I was like, what? And then I just go to voicemail and voicemail and voicemail. So, there's something that I got to do. I got to call them back over and over. And then just don't. And also, the last thing I'm going to say is one lady, she listened to my whole pitch because I'm in the beauty industry. So I call, braiders and nail techs and all that. So I did my whole pitch. And then she was like, oh, I don't think it's going to be the right time for me. And I was just like, okay. And I was just like, oh my God, you can't say that. You can't say that. And I was so mad at myself. But it wound up being great, man. Thank you for everybody here, man. Like I gotta say again, I booked 3 demos, like I said, and one onboarding. And today, I did about 40-ish, and I booked one demo for tomorrow at 10 a.m. So I need to find a way to go up to 100, but that sometimes they take a long time to kind of like call over and over because sometimes I don't have the name of the owner. And if you don't have the name of the owner, please, I mean, in my experience, don't even call because they're going to make the decision for the owner. They're going to be like, okay, well, we don't need it, and then they just hang up the phone.
I
So
see.
I rather the owner hang up the phone saying that okay, I don't need it, than the gatekeeper, basically. But guys, um, it was great. I love it. I'm probably gonna keep calling.
Keep
But thank you,
calling.
thank you, man. Thanks a lot for everybody,
Of
man.
course, of course. That's awesome. I'm curious, are you doing your local market? Or are you calling all over the place or
No, local, only local.
that's awesome.
I'm in
Yeah,
Atlanta area, so
Atlanta. Awesome. Yeah, it's funny. We don't actually. I agree. We want to make sure it's the decision maker. We don't have the first name of the owner in the way that we scrape. Um, but you can also go to the reviews of that business, and if you see the same name pop up, that's a good way to get their first name too. If you don't have it from whatever lead source that you're scraping from. But
right.
dude, so super stoked for you. Yeah, keep
Thank you,
calling.
man.
Heck
Thank you,
yeah.
man.
Yeah.
I remember, I talked to you way before, I mean, before you actually created this group. And then I was like, man, I can't get nobody to listen to me or to kind of like give me a chance. And you were like, yo, listen, just don't worry about getting money right now. Just get people to just give you a chance for free. You're gonna pay for everything. it's everything for free. Just go out there, find somebody you don't know. You say, hey, I'm just gonna do it for free. This is my gift for you, whatever it is. And then I found two people. I was able to get them some reviews, and they're really happy about it. And it really boosted my confidence that, oh, okay, well, this is really not bad. It's actually really easy. You just have to follow what Clay taught, basically, and then that's it. The harder part for me was to get the numbers and stuff, but after that, it's actually really easy. You just have to um launch the campaign, and then basically that's it, and you just monitor it. If something happens, if something breaks, you go ahead and you kind of fix it, and then you go again. So
It's the beauty of this business model. Yeah, it's once you figure it out, like the fulfillment's really it's just sales. Then it's just sales. So the success you had this week. Now this is where it gets challenging, is you got to do that every week, every day, right?
yeah,
Uh, but it can be done. And so now that you've seen that success, like it's a lot easier, like in your head. It's just those first couple clients that take some time. But
yeah,
heck
that's
yeah,
true.
heck yeah,
Thank
heck
you, man.
yeah. Let's go. Does anyone else have anything they want to talk about? Kathy,
Hey, thank
hi.
you, Frankie. Finally, nice to meet you and
Nice to
you
meet you.
guys. It's
Yeah.
exciting to be here. Yeah, my first time too. I've probably have 3 days worth of cold calling in my under my what do you call it, in my belt, under my belt.
Yeah.
And the first day I was procrastinating like hell. I was like, oh, I'm scared to do it. And then I finally picked it up. Actually, what I wanted to share was ChatGPT helped me create a manifesto for
Ooh.
calm and honest outreach. And I wrote it down and I read it for that first 3 days. I said, I'm here not to convince or perform, blah, blah, blah. And so, it's like I'm here to serve, to listen or whatever. If they need my help, da da da. If not, I respect that. I bring presence, blah blah. So I kind of psych myself, like priming, and then
Oh,
that mindset gets me to the call. And my first few calls, I remember pausing every time, and I was like checking with myself and talking to my parts and say, "How are we, guys? We good?" People are nice, right? They're not as scary as we think. Okay, let's do it again. All right, let's do it again. And I would call more. So like my fear of people really was activated. And then from that first day of calling, I realized, like somebody else said here, it was actually pretty easier than I thought. So second day was easier, and third day, it's still a little bit of a like, and then afterwards, it's like, oh. And I find that reviews is even easier to pitch than voice AI, which I started with. That was the first day was actually voice AI. And then afterwards, the reviews, it's easier to explain, easier. And people know about it. So yeah. So I'm looking forward to look at all the recordings of you guys or you, Frankie, and the scripts and all this. Got a lot already from today.
yay. Oh, I'm so excited. Kathy, if could you post that manifesto in the community? Because just that would be super cool because having some means of priming yourself prior to cold calling, that's such a great idea. And I like just the frame, what you said of basically service and being calm, right? I think that's something that just isn't talked about enough in sales, is coming from this perspective of like if you genuinely have good intentions to help a business, like that emotion will help you so much, right? If it's not just about getting the bag. And guess what? It comes with that, right? And I was thinking this today is just like because I come from that framework of how can I help this person the most that like in whatever way I can, I actually have way more ability to navigate a conversation in a way that's going to lead to my benefit. It might not be immediately because sometimes the best thing for them is not right now, but I'm not going to quit and I'm going to hit them up again and I'm going to follow up and just having that energy. And for years in sales, I was always just because of the nature of door to door, it was like, get this now, right? And it was more about me than them often. And but when you put them at the forefront, so I love that. I love that so much, and I think that would help a lot of people. And now aren't you like a coach as well? Like that's your background. Is that similar in terms of um, what you do?
Yeah, what I learned from life coaching and hypnotherapy is really the energy that you bring. That's the primary, that's the foundational, that it's not even, it dictates what you say, that even the tonality is really that yeah, the energy, like what you're saying. So,
My whole goal, like eventually, you like building this community long term, is I'm trying to merge because I have both of these in me. The sales bro dudes, like like let's get this bread, and then the energy, the feeling people, and I want to merge them together. That's because like pairing both of those, that's like a winning combination. Because you gotta have to also a little bit of gusto to get it done sometimes. But if it's coming from a good place, then then you're gonna crush. But heck yeah, Kathy, I'm really happy to have you here and look forward to hearing how. And but ambition plus EQ, yeah, it's pairing tenacity with emotional intelligence. And emotional intelligence, like really people that have are not as focused on what they can gain, but what how they can help them because they realize that when I serve somebody else, it ends up serving me. It's selfish. Being selfless is also selfish. Um, it's like this, it's a paradox. But
yeah, I just want to say too, it's like masculine and feminine. It's like massive action plus detachment and flow, right?
mhm.
Like you were talking about.
Oh yeah, see that stuff gets me going. I make more money if I can make other people more money. Yep. 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 Um, heck yeah. Uh, McGregor, I know you put in work. How's business, bro? If you're there.
Yeah, yeah, I'm here. Yeah, it's good. It's good. Just yeah, no, taking it all in. I like that about the preparing yourself mentally for it. 'Cause that's huge. If you have a good mindset going into it, you're probably gonna get something good out of it too. I feel like that and tonality has been huge. Um, like I've noticed whenever I do cold calls and I don't have a good tonality, or I just like I think you said it in one of your other videos about like if you just do a cold call and you're just like, whatever happens, happens. You don't necessarily get the best results because you're kind of just doing calls just to do calls. But then if you're like genuinely want to help the business owner out and you just like come there with like, um, you know, just like basically saying like, oh, is this the person's name versus the business owner? Just little things like that. And also like instead of saying like, "Oh, is this Tom?" saying like, "Hey, is this Tom?" Like you start to actually have the energy, and I feel like that's really big because people read other people and buy things from other people they like, and if you don't have that energy, then it's just not going to work. So I think that's probably the biggest thing I've learned from this community. But yeah, no, it's been super, super helpful. So. But yeah, no, cold calls are tough, but it's just doing it honestly. But yeah, once you do it, I feel like it gets easier. It's just like the first few days breaking through. Um, but yeah, no, I appreciate this community and everybody that's been super helpful.
Heck yeah, dude. I'll have to when I come out to Hawaii, we gotta surf, dude.
Let's do it. Let's do it. Yeah, the currents here are pretty crazy.
Yeah, I say that, and I'm actually a terrible swimmer, but I want to get better. So I don't know if are you do you actually do surf?
I'm like not the best surfer to be honest. I've tried it a few times, but I'm not too great. I'm a decent swimmer, but the tides here are kind of crazy. Like you'll start out on one side of the beach and then you'll be completely in the middle of the ocean in like less than 5 minutes and you'll be like, what the heck? Where the heck am I? If you don't know what you're doing. So yeah, it's kind of tough.
Yeah, no, I imagine. All my friends ski and snowboard, and I broke my ankle skateboarding like the first time I tried. So boards and I aren't friends. But quickly, I just saw on the beginning part you said it kind of relates back to what we were just saying, but like having this balance of like desire, because like if you're completely detached from like oh just whatever happens happens, like that's not enough, and maybe that's more of the feminine, right? But like when you pair that with this drive of like I want like I see that I want to get this appointment and like I want to serve them and I'm pushing for that, but if it doesn't happen, that's okay. That balance of that mindset is what's really important. Um, but what do we got here? Cool. Jose, if you're there, I'd love to meet you. Forgive me if we've met before. If you're available.
No, not yet actually. I'm new. I'm new here.
Hey,
So
what's up, dude?
basically, what's up?
Heck yeah, man. Have you cold called before, or is it new to you, or?
No, before, yeah. Actually like 3 years cold calling. I'm just like wanting to know like more information about it. What do you do? Like, how's the environment over there?
Yeah, it's up and down, but it works if you put in the reps. Is there what was your background? What kind of cold calling did you do before?
Well, mainly with Overstock. I work with a company that basically buys overstock from US market and we sell it to France.
Okay. Overstock. Okay, nice. Heck yeah. Were you cold calling for that? And
Yeah,
or
I was
okay,
doing everything basically. Cold
yeah,
calling and closing and doing the leads like prospection, everything.
that's awesome, man. Heck yeah. Yeah, there's always something to learn, and there's a lot of I guess if you're asking like out here, do you mean like in the States? Like how is it out here, or just like in this community, or?
Oh, sure. I'm not from US, so I'm from Latin market. I'm from Colombia.
Heck yeah.
Basically, I'm not even there, but yeah, just that's why I want to learn more about how you guys inside of the US market deal with it.
Yeah, man. All the people that I call like in the videos that I call are all US based, and it's no different. People are people at the end of the day.
Yeah.
The same principles apply. But yeah, would love to chat more. And
Also, Jose, there is a massive Spanish speaking market in the United States as well, especially if you're calling the border states, New Mexico, Arizona, Texas. There's a lot of people that are exclusively Spanish speakers or of like Hispanic descent. So you'll use that as your competitive advantage. You'll be able to talk to a lot of folks that most Americans can't.
Interesting. Really interesting. I didn't know actually.
Yeah, for you, I would definitely say start in the Texas area, man, especially around the borders. That's like 40-50% Hispanic.
Miami
Great.
as well. Yeah.
Miami, yeah, Miami has got a lot of Caribbean, Latin immigrants. So yeah.
Heck yeah. Well, excited to have you here, Jose. I appreciate all of you guys a ton. And yeah, if there's any sort of like topics or ideas that I can provide some information on, let me know, DM me or post it. If you guys, it'd be cool if you post your calls in the community. That would be tight because then we can make each other better. But and also put content in there. But I appreciate you guys heavy. And I will see you again next week. Let's get some calls. Let's get this bread. And yeah, chat with you soon.
Thanks for having us, bro.
All right.
That's you nicely.
Peace.